What's going on YouTube? How are we doing? Hope you've all had an incredible week. So in today's video, I just wanted to talk a little bit about things I've been implementing to kind of find the demons and whatever it was that caused me to have that little hiccup in May. Dealing with things like losses, how to overcome losses, things that you need to kind of implement and things you need to put into place, ways to identify why the losses are happening, and how to kind of learn that that's part of the game. It's part of any business. It's part of any journey in life. Everybody watching this video is going to have had a loss of some sort. You find a way to get over it, right? You find ways to get over that loss, flip them into wins. You can learn from your losses. You can learn a hell of a lot from your losses as long as you're open-minded to learning from the losses. I got a lot of people reach out to me saying they're in a similar position. A lot of people saying they're taking, 5, 10, 20 losses a week. People doing kind of crazy stuff. And I think it's very easy to fall into that mindset. It's very easy to fall into that pit of doom, if you like, where you're like, oh my God, all I'm doing is losing. How do I get out of this? What do I need to do? Where do I look? And most of the FX industry is built upon technical. Enough people speak about mindset, and mindset for me has been the biggest thing. Go back 2 years, I probably would have crumbled after blowing an account up. This time around, I kind of didn't care, and that sounds weird. And that might be, people might say, oh, that's because you've got other things going on for you now. You've got other sources of income. Yeah, maybe it is. But I've worked on my mindset, and I've began to kind of realize that without it, you're fucked. Like, simple as that. If you haven't got a good, solid, strong mind, you are fucked. People will challenge you in this industry. People will challenge you in every aspect of life. And people like seeing you fail. And there will be many people that have probably waited, for me to fail. And they'll have lapped it up and loved it. Understand that I loved it too, and it has been a great lesson. Biggest failures for traders is usually not having a plan at all, and then when you have a plan, you don't actually execute or stick to that plan, even though you think you are, right? Then what you do is from that plan, you deviate and change based on new findings and new things every given week, minute, month, whatever, and you continue to do this non-stop until you get to a point where you say, this doesn't work, it's a load of shit. I think the biggest takeaway from that is, why is it that most traders don't have a plan they can stick to? What is it that causes us to essentially go, I can't be patient, I am addicted, and I need it now, I need to trade? The biggest thing for me over the last couple of weeks has been obviously implementing patience and discipline that I used to have to a T. And understanding that most of the losses that can be avoided by just not being on the chart, by not trading at certain times, by not trying to get in a trade every day, not trying to even get in a trade every week, right? Being consistent in your approach and consistent with your edge. Now you're going to ask me, how do you get an edge, dude? Like, what's an edge? How do I get it? People keep saying this edge thing. What is it? Edge is essentially your strategy, your methodology, your mathematical equation that you're going to allow to play out over a number of events, a number of trades, that's going to work in your favor mathematically. And then from that, provided you stick to it, you'll be consistent, right? Now, there's a reason why only 6% of traders tend to be successful, and it's because most of them stick to that edge, stick to that mathematical equation that they've created for themselves from their understanding. No one else is, their understanding, right? And that's very important. Seek education, get education, but then it's about actually putting the work in and defining the edge for you. I have a new trade plan, right? I could give it out now. I guarantee the masses will copy that plan. They will try and implement that plan, and it won't work because you're not me. You don't have the understanding of that plan. You don't have the belief in that plan. You don't have the systems in place to execute that plan. So then you will dump that plan and find another plan and find another plan and find another plan until you realize that until you actually create your plan, you're not going to get anywhere. If you have an edge, it's very important that you don't just dive in head first with all your capital, all your investment, or into a funded account. Go and take that live with a small account, 500 quid, £1,000, whatever it may be, and go and execute that edge. Actually stress test it. How many times, if I hit every single trade that fits that criteria, how often do I end up in a drawdown? How often do I end up in a profit? Can I be consistent? Can I hit the figures that I need to hit to pass funding challenges? Do that for a couple of weeks or months, depending on how much time you're putting into it. Then perhaps look to transition. If it hasn't worked, go back to the drawing board. What needs tweaking? What needs changing? If nothing, stay as you are. You don't need to change anything. My checklist has 5 things. I have 2 entry models. That's it. If it doesn't come, it doesn't come. If it comes, we get involved. It's been incredible. I feel better than I've actually ever felt trading, which is mad. I had a sick year last year, and I feel miles better than that. But it's because I worked on my mindset. I literally don't care what anyone says now. Mindset is so important. I know I've already said this, but you need to understand it's crucial to a trader's development. If you don't have a good mindset, you literally might as well get in the bin. There's a person recently, a lot of you might have seen, big ups to the guy, I can't remember his name, so apologies, but he's just done 500k profit on FTMO, which is absolutely mental. I watched the interview earlier. Now, I know a lot of you probably watched it too, and a lot of you probably just skipped to the entry bit. I know some of you did, and I've caught you there. You probably skipped to the entry, and you were just looking to see what source he's got that he can give you to make 500k, and now you're probably all going to go and implement what he had on his chart to try and make 500k. Let me stop you there. It ain't going to work. It's just not going to work. I watched the video, and a lot of the things that he does are methods that I previously used to look at. Not all of them. Some of them, EMAs, MACDs, things like that. Personally, could never really make sense of them. Am I going to go and say to that guy, dude, you don't know what you're doing? No. Am I? Fuck. Because one, he won't care. Two, he's just smashed it. You know why? Because he has belief in his system. He has a system in place that he has belief in, that he knows he can execute on a repeatable process, and he can go and make the crazy money he's made. Can he do it again? I'm not sure. Another guy in the leaderboards all the time, I think it's Casper K. He's always up there every month, doing massive amounts of percentages. Why? Because he has a plan and a system in place that allows him to do that. Yes, sometimes making that much can be very risk averse. You can say it's a fluke, you can say whatever. The dude's done it, and I believe it's because they've got a plan that they completely understand and have belief in. Do you have that plan that you actually understand, that you actually believe in? Or are you still kind of winging it, hoping that one day that plan's going to be delivered to you in one of these bookie Telegram channels, and it's going to say, here mate, this is what you need, you've been searching for this your whole life? Honestly, it's not. It's up here, right? You can trade any strategy. If you've got a good mindset and execute consistently, you'll make money. This is no affiliation, but it's called the Zen Trader. Highly recommend it, by Peter Castle. He's got a couple of trade books out there. I believe he's been trading since 1995, and it's basically about like ancient wisdom and Zen and how it can kind of portray into trading. And it really intrigued me because I thought, cool, that's quite interesting. Let's see how things from previous ancient methodologies and whatnot kind of relay into this day and age, not just in trading but in general life. There's so many things in there that I'm like, whoa, I didn't think of it like that. So it's really opened my eyes. Great book, highly recommend it. I've been doing a lot of recently is I've been journaling my thoughts when I trade. Now, this is something that I used to do, but it was very half-hearted. It was very much a quick, I felt good, cool, bye. It was never really in depth. It was never really digging into the potential demons that I've got. And, the last couple of weeks, I've been smashing FTMO trials left, right, and centre, smashing demos, smashing my personal on lower risk. And I was like, this is kind of feeling too easy. Let's throw myself back into trading live properly. So I went back to full risk on my personal. And straight away, I was met with demons, right? Now, it's funny because they're demons that perhaps I've not had before, but I've perhaps not visited. I've perhaps not dug into why they're there. I've perhaps not understood that they're coming from something else. They're caused from something else. Journaling's really allowed me to hone in on that. So giving you an example, I was in a trade on Tuesday and I started the session and I wrote something along the lines of, feeling really good today, feeling really confident, had a great morning, done all the things I needed to do, no attachment, patience, let's see what comes. Then like 11:45, I think, I was in a trade. Was like, execute the plan, feeling great, see what happens. A little bit later, break even now, risk is off, running 5%. Got the urge to close, right? So straight away I'm writing that down. I've had an urge to close. Okay, why have I had the urge to close? 20 minutes later, new information is printing. Still have that urge to close. So I was like, okay. New information printed that perhaps gave me a sign of maybe I should get out here. So I actually wrote, I closed. I closed the trade at like 5.5%, which is still incredible. I'm not knocking that in any way. Closed the trade at 5.5%. Now, before I got in that trade, my target was 10%, which would take out some liquidity within a range, and that was where my final TP was. Now, before I put the trade on, I felt cool. I was like, yeah, that'll run. After being in the trade for half an hour, I'd had these demons creep in, and what I discovered is that potentially I had fear of giving back P&L because I'd looked at floating P&L and I'd gone, okay, that's cool, I want that. Danger straight away, because floating P&L is not yours until it's crystallized, until it's withdrawn, until it's in your account. It doesn't matter what the fuck you're running. If you ain't closing it, it ain't yours. So you haven't lost shit. Secondly, I realized I perhaps had a fear of BE because the trade had running good profit. I didn't want to give back that profit. And a lot of BEs previously for me on trading FX pairs, there is commission, there is spread, and it can be quite nasty. And if you can take 3 or 4 BEs in a day, you can be 1.5% down. So perhaps there I had a little bit of a fear of, I don't want that BE, so I'm gonna take my profit. And then the third one was I perhaps didn't want to give away any other profits by getting that BE or by that being a problem. Now the thing with US 30 is there is no commission and there is no worry about taking a BE because it would literally be zero or maybe 20, 30 quid. It's not going to be a lot. But at the time I'd perhaps forgotten about that. So I'd written this down, and from that specific 30 minutes of trading, I learned more about myself than all the weeks I was smashing demos and trials for fun, because I was doing it with no attachment, and that's what you need. And that's what this book talks about a lot, is detaching yourself from trading, detaching yourself from the outcome, not having any kind of, oh, that's going to impact my mood, that's going to change how I feel, and being very zen in the sense of win, lose, BE, I don't care. I don't want to win and be like, get in, because I'm now creating an attachment to winning, and I don't want to get a loss and start throwing my toys at the pram and let it ruin my day because I'm creating an attachment to losing. So my mind will now have fear of loss and it will think winning is good. And now what I've created is an attachment to winning and losing, and I've created this system in my head, and a habit is starting to be formed that, okay, when we win we feel good, but when we lose we feel bad. That's very dangerous in trading, because one thing you have to remember in trading, right, is you are always going to lose. There is always going to be losing trades, and you have to be able to deal with those well. Because if you can't deal with being a losing trader, if you can't deal with your plan not working sometimes, you are not going to get anywhere as a trader, because once those losses happen, what most traders do, and I did this, and like I said, I did a whole video on this, you automatically start to look for new ways to prevent that loss from happening. And then when you go on that journey, you go on a whole different path of finding a new way to prevent an L that was just part of a probability of your mathematical equation. What you have to remember is when you take that loss, and let's say you take another loss, the likelihood is, as Mark Douglas says in his book, the next trade is likely going to be a winner. The more losses you take, the closer you are to a winner. The more winners you take, the closer you are to an L. And if you can think in that probabilistic mindset, and you can think of it in a sense of, okay, I'm on a winning streak right now, but let's not get cocky, let's not get egotistical, let's not be like I'm the man, because it's going to probably come around the corner and there's going to be an L, and there might be another L. How do I deal with those L's? Do I all of a sudden go, I took L's, shit, my life's over, oh my god, let it ruin my day? Or do I go, okay, cool, it's probabilities, no attachment, we move? What I've found is actually pen to paper, doing it every day religiously. Even if I don't take a trade, I'm still writing, how do you feel? There's been some days where I've written things down like, come to the chart, had a little bit of a rough morning, something annoyed me, I'm now allowing that to go into trading. And I'm like, that's dangerous, because if you're going to trading annoyed, the chances are you're going to try and do something stupid because you're not thinking straight. Perhaps you've had a letter come through, you owe more tax than you thought, your tax bill's higher, it's coming up to due date, you're like, shit, I got to make some money. Right, trading. Now you're trading for money, you're trading for something, you're going to fuck right up, you're going to feel even worse, and now you've got the problem of your tax money and you've just blown a load of your money or blown up a challenge or whatever because you were trying to chase and create something. If you're in the wrong mindset when you start trading, walk away. It's something I've implemented. If I come to that page and I write my feelings down and straight away I write, I feel emotional, or I feel angry, or I feel agitated, or I don't feel right, I will shut the shit out of my laptop and I will go for a walk, I will go and do something else. I will not trade, because I've realised straight away from the writing down and the journaling that I've started to create bad habits where I'm coming into session pissed off about something and I'm allowing that to affect me. Like if you're giving your energy to something and you can't actually control the outcome of that, then stop giving your energy to it. And it goes for so many things in life, whether it's someone on Instagram trolling you, whether it's someone on YouTube trolling you, whether it's a friend you don't, doesn't like you anymore, is giving you shit or whatever it is. If they're taking your energy away, they're zapping your energy, they're draining you of your energy, fuck those people off. Like I've said it before, I'll say it again, there's no benefit. You can have a row with someone that doesn't like you, you'll get nowhere. You will literally waste hours of your life repeating yourself. They're not going to listen. So instead of doing any of that, just be like, so be it, move on, crack on. You can think what you want of me, you can think what you want of me. I don't give a shit, I'm going to focus on myself, so be it. So it's really opened my eyes, to just how much time you give to the wrong things and how much time you can give to yourself, and the development you can see and the growth you can see in such a short space of time is mental. So mindset wise for me is really starting to click. I'm very aware of trades, like if the setup looks like it's a bit forced, I ain't taking that shit, because the forced setups are the ones that end up being an L. I'm removing the L's. My strike rate is just going up and up and up. I'm reducing the amount of R I want to make from a trade. Also very comfortable in the fact that if I've made money in the first week and I'm on funded accounts, I'll lock that shit off, I'll go back to trading my personal, or I'll go and enjoy my month. For me, the whole point in this whole trading thing, this business thing, whatever you want to call it, It was to be able to work from home or anywhere in the world that has Wi-Fi, be able to take my kids to school, pick my kids up from school, be there and present for their days off, for their sports days, for their school plays, be able to take them on holiday, be able to provide for them, and not have to answer to someone else, not have to go to a job I don't want to go to, not have to do things I don't want to do. That was what it was for. It wasn't for, I want to be a billionaire with a Lamborghini. Yeah, we'd all like to have that. It was never for that. It was for more of the memories that I can create and the life I can live. I can go out, I can go to the gym when I want, I can go for a walk when I want, I can go on a holiday when I want, I can go and see a friend when I want. No one's dictating what I do. That was what it was for me. It was never loads and loads and loads of money. So I've sat down, I've worked things out, and I've realised that if I just focus on making this consistently over this period of time, I'm good. Now, I'm not setting an expectation that I have to make that. I'm just saying I don't need to shoot for the moon. I don't need to be in a trade all the time. When you can understand that, and when you can focus on going, you know what, I don't have to be a trader all the time. I can focus on being a trader for a specific amount of time, and then I can go and do what I want to do and be a normal person. So much more opens up in your mind, and I've started to feel so much better. You shouldn't allow other people to make you feel good. You should make yourself feel good. Listen to that shit again, right? You are responsible for making yourself happy, not somebody else. Not someone on Instagram, not someone on Facebook, not someone on Twitter, not someone on TikTok, not your missus, not your family, not your work colleagues. You are responsible for your own happiness. So if something's not helping, if something's creating an unhappy moment, fuck it off. If something's affecting you, if it's causing you to feel down, remove it. You're the one who's in control of all your thoughts. Writing down your thoughts in the journal, they're the things that allow you to start to identify possible demons that you don't even know. They're the times where you can go, right, for the last 2 weeks I've said the same thing every day, or I've said the same thing every time I'm in a trade, or I've said the same thing every time I'm not in a trade, or I've said the same thing every time I come to the chart and this has happened. You'll start to go, okay, what does that mean? Why is that happening? Is this from a past event in life? Is it from a trauma at a young age? What's this from? You can start to dig into why, what happened, what did that cause that for, what did that do that? It's really, really powerful. It's something I wanted to share because I feel like there's not enough emphasis on this sort of stuff. I'm getting a lot of messages now like, what are you doing to do this? How are you doing it so quick? Remember guys, like I'm not coming back into trading like I'm brand new, baby pants, back at baby pips. I have a very good understanding. I just had a moment where I dipped and I fell off track. And now I'm implementing all the things that I implemented before that helped me get to where I've got, but I'm implementing them in a different way and I'm opening my mind up to growth still and I'm having that growth mindset. I haven't completed it. I'm not by any means a finished article. So I think it's crucial to understand, what are you trading for? What does it mean to you? How do you discover what it means to you? And a lot of that's come from journaling, thoughts. It's very healthy. I read the other day, I always thought I was a bit nuts, but if you ever find yourself talking to yourself on a walk or whatever in your head, that's actually very healthy. It's a sign of a healthy mind. So don't feel like you're weird, but try and jot those thoughts down, whether it's on your phone. Like I say, for me, pen to paper has been the best. Obviously, I don't always walk around with a pen and paper, so sometimes it's on my phone and then I'll write it down myself. But little things like that have been really important. They've been really powerful. And I think they're the things that we should be focusing on. Before we go, I just want to read a couple of things out of this book. But yeah, big ups for all the love and support as always. It's incredible. But yeah, let's get into it. See if any of these resonate with you. So, deeply accepting losses is the holy grail of trading. You need to be peaceful and calm, but strike quickly when needed. The only guarantee in trading is that you will lose. The most important skill is accepting losses. It is not about the perfect method, but the perfect mind. Do not repeat the same non-working process. So if you've got an edge, if you keep going for it and it's not working, then of course, don't repeat that. Find a way to fix that. Your rules are only as strong as the emotions that created those rules. Your subconscious rules your behavior. Trading is all about your subconscious programming. The subconscious determines how much money you win or lose. Even smart people lose because of their emotions and their subconscious. When a trade goes against you, you get nervous and uptight. You can't think straight. The market works by taking money from emotional traders and giving it to calm traders. Master traders lose often. Master traders do not take loss personally. Master traders separate their ego and identity from their trading performance. Master traders don't care about losing. Master traders don't have the need for instant gratification. And master traders have no need for external gratification about their identity. You are embarrassed when you lose. Losing makes you feel less of a man or woman. Trading will give you the instant feedback about being a failure. Your mind destroys your trading results. You feel you are not good enough. If you feel like a loser, the next trade you take will generate a loss. That's a massive one for me. The amount of times where I'm like, this trade's probably not going to work, and it doesn't. The amount of times I've gone into trading where I'm not sure what's going on, and naturally I lose because I'm being a dick. Don't beat yourself up about losing, just accept it. And this is so important. If you take an L, it's fine. Flip it into a win. How can you learn from it? How can you grow from it? For me, this L I took in May has been incredible. It's been the biggest growth period of my career this year, where if it hadn't happened, I probably wouldn't have gone on this search to better my mind, to grow my mind, to better my trading, to understand and realise and remember why I'm doing everything and reflect on those things. So for me, I'm thankful of that L, and I flipped that into a win. And for me, that's a talent and a skill that if we can all master, then we will only see an equity curve like this in our actual life. Your trading challenges reflect the flaws in your personality, and you need massive guts to be a good trader. To finish off, a Zen saying, if you can solve the problem, then what is the need of worrying? If you cannot solve it, what is the use of worrying? Let that sit with you for a minute. Think about it when you take a loss. Can you solve it? Can you not solve it? Anything going on in your life, can you solve it? Can you not solve it? 9 times out of 10, it can't. Move on. If you can, what you're worrying about, you'll fix it. That's exactly how I see it. That's the end of story time with Alb. Probably sent some of you to sleep. This is a video that's gone on way longer than I wanted it to. But I feel like there's a lot of knowledge, a lot of facts in here that hopefully will help someone. And if it helps one person, that's what the channel was built on. As always, guys, peace and love. Catch you in the next one. Have a sick week.